Hey guys, it's me, Devin. You are watching the first video that is just about me. And I like to talk about me, so thank you for watching. I'm going to talk about how I became a dad and what life was like for me as an early parent. But first, I want to give you a little bit of a life update as to what I do now. So a few months ago, I started becoming a full-time freelancer. I quit my day job. I still work at it part-time on a contract basis, but I now do content creation and marketing full-time. And so that means I get to work with brands to make videos that help tell their story, as well as, of course, doing what I've always done, sharing my own story and that of my family. So, that being said, this is a sponsored video by Johnson & Johnson. Thank you again for sponsoring yet another video for us. One thing I really like about working with Johnson & Johnson is that they leave it up to me what I want to talk about. And so I found out that they actually have, since 1987, had paternity leave for their employees. If you're unfamiliar with paternity leave, it's basically like maternity leave in which you get like a set paid time off work when you have a baby. Now, usually a lot of companies just have that for women, but progressive companies like Johnson & Johnson understand that women are not the only ones that have babies. Sometimes dads do, of course. For example, let's say two dads want to, of course, make a baby, whether they do it surrogacy, whether they adopt, whatever, they would be able to then take time off work to bond with that baby, to deal with the stress that having a baby in your life brings. Large companies like Johnson & Johnson are really able to shape culture a lot because of their influence and because of how many people are impacted by their policies. So I think it's really cool that they have that policy, and I sure wish I would have had something like that when I had my kids, because I did not get that at all. Now, let me dive in to explain how I have my children. Now, if you've followed us for a period of time, you'll know that I was married to a woman for about 5 years. We started having kids about a year after we got married. And so I was 23 when my first son was born. And whoa, like I was so young, I was not ready, but I made my choices and I knew that I wanted to be a dad. Now, growing up, I didn't really have any examples of gay parents and really of any like healthy, happy gay people. I just had a really negative viewpoint on gay people because of the conservative background I was raised in. And so for me, the only option to become a dad was to get married to a woman, have kids of my own. And so that's what I did. I always knew from the time I was really young that I really wanted to be a father. I love children, I love my kids, and so that was the path I took. Now, becoming parents for gay people is often something that takes a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, and it can be complicated, whether you're doing it through surrogacy or adoption. Like, there is a lot to navigate as far as becoming parents. When you are in a heterosexual relationship, well, I was not heterosexual. I was married to a woman. When you're in a relationship like that, it's not that complicated to have babies. So let me tell you how I first found out that I would become a father. I was actually living in Orlando at the time, working at Disney World, when I got a phone call from my wife at the time. I was just at work and she was like, I have to tell you something. I'm like, I'm kind of working right now. And she's like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, wait, what? and I was not we weren't expecting it at all. And it was like such a shock. My coworkers were all like, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm like, I just found something out, but I don't know what to tell you. And I ended up telling him like a few days later why I freaked out. But it was quite a shock to me to find out that I was gonna be a dad. However, as shocking as it was, I was also thrilled, one, and really excited about the prospect of having a child in my life. And excited also for my wife, because she also really wanted to be a mother. So yeah, weren't expecting that, but hey, we went along with it. And So she had a pretty good pregnancy for the most part, typical morning sickness type stuff. She did end up having our first son like a month early, which was totally unexpected and kind of scary. However, he weighed in like around 7 pounds, even though he was that early. And he was, for the most part, healthy. Like, he did have to go to the ICU for a little bit to help his lungs like fully adjust to, I don't know, breathing. I remember that moment when I first like held him. He had like the cutest wet like hair, and it looked like kind of like curly and dark, but it was because he had just like come out of the womb. As soon as they like washed him off, his hair like poofed out like a lion cub, like I was like, oh, it's not curly at all. It's very stick straight. I mean, mine's really straight too, so he's kind of got my hair. And I remember holding him and being like, what? Like, this kid is mine. Like, I can see he's got features that look like me, and he's got blue eyes, and he's like this little ball of like skin and bones, and it was really overwhelming. My son was born right before spring break. I was actually in school at the time. I had a whole week off of work because I worked at the school. I had a whole week off of work and a whole week away from school to just sit home with my son and bond with him. And it was super meaningful and special, and I'm really grateful that it worked out like that. I would have loved to have much more than a week, but it was a great experience. Now, when we had our second son, we actually planned that. They are 18 months apart, and we were like so happy with our oldest son, C, and he was such a joy to have around. We're like, why would we not want another one? And so we decided to, and the day we decided to is the day she got pregnant. It was that quick. He was also born a month early. I don't know why. Like, she's a microwave. Would bake them faster. So when B was born, I remember we ended up leaving our oldest son with like the neighbors, and we're like, take our kid, we gotta go. He came early and went to the hospital, and like within a few hours of getting there, she had the baby. She's like, this labor thing sucks, I'm gonna do it as fast as possible, and she did. So out he came, gorgeous blue eyes again, light like blonde hair, very little of it too, but he's like the cutest little baby. So that's my story of becoming a dad. So I'm really grateful that I got to have kids the way that I did. I always tell people I had them the old-fashioned way. I feel lucky to have my kids. I mean, sure, I ended up getting divorced from my ex-wife, and that was really hard on both me and the kids. That's not what I had, like the direction that I had planned for my life to go. But we make the most of it. You know, I made the most of difficult circumstances, having come out gay later in life. I feel really lucky to be a dad and to have an awesome ex-wife that helps co-parent with me. And I'm grateful that we get to do fun things and go on trips together. And then they can also, you know, stay with their mom and go to school and do all those things when they're with her. And I actually get a break from them. That sounds bad. I love having my kids with me, but I'm also grateful for the times that I'm away from them. And I shouldn't need to feel guilty about being away from them because I need my own time to be able to work and to be able to relax and to unwind. And I feel really fortunate to be a dad and have these awesome kids in my life. So that's that. That's my story of how I became a dad. I actually want to start sharing stories from other dads on how they became dads, because I get asked all the time, how did you adopt? What's the process like? Did you do surrogacy? And I'm like, I have no experience in that and nothing to tell you. And so I want to interview other dads who've done that and share their stories with you, because I think we need more of this kind of content out there. And people who want to become parents need to know what it takes to get there. So leave a comment down below if you know any dads that I should interview. And I want to hear your own experiences, how you became a father, or how you envision yourself becoming a father, if you want to become a father at all. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to sharing more with you. Have a good day. Bye.